When my phone buzzed that morning, I thought it was just another random text from work. But the moment I read her message, my stomach twisted into a cold knot. I crashed your car. Don't be mad. My ex was driving and we were just catching up. For a long second, I just stared at the screen, the words blurring and sharpening again as if my brain couldn't quite register what I was seeing. My first instinct wasn't anger. It was confusion, then disbelief. Then, finally, the sharp, sinking pain of realization. She didn't just crash my car. She was with him. My fingers trembled as I typed back. Is everyone safe? It was automatic, something you say when disaster strikes. But deep down, another voice whispered, you're not really asking if she's okay. You're asking if this is the moment everything ends. Her name was Lena, and for 2 years she'd been the calm in my chaos. I met her at a friend's engagement party. She laughed at my dry jokes, touched my arm when she talked, and told me she liked how I noticed little things. She said her ex never did. She was warm, disarming, and a little reckless. She'd drag me out at midnight just to watch city lights from a hilltop, or call me from work to say, let's drive somewhere, anywhere, just you and me. That car, the one she just crashed, was ours in a way. I'd saved for months to buy it. The first trip we ever took together was in that car. We used to argue about the music, about directions, about snacks. But those little fights always ended in laughter. That car carried our stories, until her message shattered them all. She didn't reply right away. Each passing minute stretched thin, like a rubber band about to snap. Finally, my phone buzzed again. Yeah, everyone's fine. Just a dent. Insurance will cover it. I stared at the screen, my jaw tightening. Everyone's fine. That word, everyone, felt like a slap. She didn't even bother hiding it. Her ex had been driving my car. She'd handed him the keys. The same keys I'd told her never to lend out because I trusted her, not strangers. And yet she let him drive. The same man she once swore she was over. When she came home that evening, she didn't even look guilty. She walked in carrying her purse, hair still perfectly in place, pretending like everything was fine. I was sitting at the kitchen table, her message still open on my phone. Hey, she said lightly, kicking off her shoes. It looks worse than it is. The bumpers cracked, but I already called the insurance guy. Was your ex driving? I asked quietly. She froze. Her eyes flicked to me just for a second, and that single flicker told me everything. Yeah, she said finally. But it's not what you think. What I think, I said slowly, is that you let another man, your ex, drive my car, and then you texted me like it was no big deal. She sighed, rolling her eyes like I was the unreasonable one. It wasn't like that, okay? We just ran into each other at the cafe near the mall. We talked, and he offered to drive because he said he missed being behind the wheel. It was a few minutes, and then the car. You let him drive my car. My voice cracked. Lena, do you hear yourself? She crossed her arms. You're overreacting. That word, overreacting, burned worse than the betrayal itself. It was like watching a crack split open in the middle of something you thought was solid. That night I didn't sleep. I replayed every moment we'd had, every story she'd told me about that ex, the one who, according to her, didn't deserve her. I thought about how many times she'd said, "You're the only man I feel safe with." And now she'd let him take the wheel, literally and figuratively. The next morning I decided to see the car myself. When I arrived at the repair shop, the mechanic greeted me with a sympathetic nod. You're Daniel, right? The one with the black sedan. Yeah. She's lucky. Could have been worse, he said, pointing at the dented side. The passenger airbag went off. Good thing she was on the driver's side. Passenger airbag. My stomach dropped. Wait, I said slowly. You said passenger. He nodded. Yeah. Her ex was driving, right? Big guy, beard, maybe late 20s. I swallowed hard. Yeah. That's him. So yeah, he hit the pole on the right side. She told me she was trying to grab his phone or something when it happened. Guess he was distracted. I felt my blood run cold. He was distracted. By her. I thanked the mechanic, but I don't remember walking out. My hands were trembling so hard I could barely open the car door. That tiny detail, passenger airbag, told a story she hadn't. She'd been sitting next to him, close enough to reach for his phone. Close enough to, what? Hold his hand. Laugh at his jokes. Forget I existed for a while. That evening, I confronted her again. Why did you lie? I asked. She looked up from her phone. What are you talking about? You weren't driving, I said. You told the mechanic he was. The airbag went off on your side. Her face paled. Daniel, it's not. Don't lie again, Lena. Please. My voice cracked on the last word. Her eyes filled with something, guilt maybe. Or just the realization that she'd been caught. Fine, she whispered. Yes, he was driving. I didn't want to tell you because I knew how you'd react. How I'd react. I laughed bitterly. You think this is about the car? She looked away. You were in my car, I said slowly. With the man you used to love. You let him drive while you sat there next to him. You lied about it. So tell me, Lena, what else are you lying about? Her silence was louder than any confession. Over the next few days, she became distant. She'd leave early for work meetings, come home late, and keep her phone on silent. The little things changed. Her perfume lingered longer, her laughter over the phone sounded forced, and she started locking the bathroom door when she showered. It wasn't just suspicion anymore. It was dread. So I did something I swore I'd never do. I checked her phone while she was asleep. There they were, messages from him. Flirty. Familiar. Dangerous. I missed this. You always smelled like vanilla. We shouldn't have stopped that day in the car. I still think about it. My chest felt like it was collapsing. I scrolled further, each message slicing deeper. He doesn't have to know. You said you'd talk to him after the weekend. We can make this work. That was enough. When morning came, I made coffee like I always did. I even smiled when she walked in, sleepy and pretending everything was fine. I handed her a mug, watched her sip it, and said quietly, I know. Her hand froze midair. Know what? I know about you and him, I said softly. The messages. The day in the car. The lies. Her face drained of color. For once, she had nothing to say. You could have told me, I said. You could have been honest. But you didn't even give me that. You let me be the fool who worried if you were safe, when I should have been asking why my girlfriend was with another man in my car. Tears filled her eyes, but I felt nothing. Just a hollow ache where love used to be. She started crying, muttering apologies between shaky breaths. It just happened, Daniel. I didn't plan it. Seeing him again, it brought everything back. I didn't mean to hurt you. I stood up. You didn't mean to crash the car either, but you still did. You took your hands off the wheel, Lena. With him, and with us. I grabbed my keys. I'm going to my brother's for a few days. Don't be here when I get back. She sobbed harder, reaching for me. Please. Don't throw everything away because of one mistake. One mistake, I repeated bitterly. No, Lena. Crashing the car was a mistake. Sleeping with your ex, lying about it, and then pretending it was nothing, that's a choice. The days that followed were quiet but heavy. I packed my things, moved into my brother's spare room, and tried to rebuild a routine. Every now and then I'd get texts from her, long, tearful paragraphs about regret and forgiveness. I never replied. But I read every word. Because part of me still loved her. The version of her that used to trace hearts on the car window when it fogged, who'd squeeze my hand at red lights, who'd promise me forever. But the woman who texted, "Don't be mad. My ex was driving," wasn't her anymore. A month later, I got a call from the insurance company. They said the car was fully repaired and ready for pickup. When I saw it, the metal gleamed as if nothing had ever happened. But I knew better. Some damage doesn't show on the outside. As I slid into the driver's seat, I noticed a faint scratch on the dashboard. Shallow, almost invisible unless the light hit it just right. For a moment I thought about leaving it there like a reminder. But instead I ran my finger over it, took a deep breath and started the engine. The car hummed quietly, steady, like it was waiting for me to take back control. And for the first time in weeks I felt something like peace. Because while she'd crashed what we built together, I was finally ready to drive forward, alone.